Hi, I'm Vida Clocky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're going to be doing a background wash on the lilacs today and finishing them up in a second fire. You can look below for the link, previous link that we did a video on the actual lilacs. So I'll show you what colors we'll be using, so let's get started. Colors we're going to be using today are the same as we used in the lilac video with a few additional colors. I did lilac or light lavender, pansy purple, rich violet. This is a range of 3 values of purples and violets. I may need a little black. I have 3 values of greens: light, moss green, antique green or brown green, dark green. We're going to use a little yellow, blue violet, and some cool shadow. My painting medium is my semi-open, and then I use a Terpenoid Natural for a light brush cleaner, and for a deeper clean I use odorless mineral spirits. We'll be using the wipeout tool, of course. The brushes are the flat square shader Aquaflows in all different sizes. And I have a flat regular shader that's a little rounded at the edge. I'll be using that to touch up the lilacs if I need to, plus a scroller brush. Alright, so the first thing I want to do, if I'm going to start washing sunshine in that background, I need to know what way my light is coming from, which direction. So there's no holes on here on this one, so it wouldn't matter how I tilt it, but I had planned it to sit this way. So let's bring our sunshine arrow pointing in that direction. I'm going to go into my oil and work it into my brush somewhat, and this is not the cleanest brush right now, so I guess I have to do a deep cleaning before I start with yellow, because yellow's very easily contaminated. So let's get that cleaned out. Well, I'm going into Terpenoid Natural here also, and we'll go into oil. Alright, let's try it again. I'm going to pull, load my brush with yellow. Yellow's a very intense color, so I want to use a very light value of that. And by that I mean, by a light value, this is a heavy value, dark value. I don't want that. It's too intense. So if I pull, I'm getting lighter values here. This is what I'm looking for, a very light color of yellow for that wash. I'll load my brush again, and I'm going to stay with that color for a while here and pull that same color, and I'm going to bring a little of it this back through here. As if it were shooting through the composition. Now I'll wipe the brush in Terpenoid Natural. Let's go to the next darkest value color, which would be my light lavender. So I'll go to my palette and pull. Sometimes we have to use a little more oil with these purple colors. They get a little sticky. So I'm going to pull the lavender in probably 3 places. I don't want to stop at this leaf area here. I want to pull some color off there. I don't want to separate my colors with my subjects, so I want to pull some of that purple on over. Alright, let's go through here with a little lavender. And try not to muddy them up. Get in, get out. Let's try that, and let's put some more lavender. We could put right through here. I'm trying to think of 3 areas. I would not stop at the branch. You want to go behind it. All right. Now, let's go into the 3rd color. Little oil on the brush, and that would be Cool Shadow. So I'm going in, pull, pull, pull. I don't want too dark of a value, which is a little dark. I'm going to pop it in 3 areas. Rather than go back now and reload, I might just borrow some off of where I thought it was a little heavy and walk it on up here. So I'm getting a nice wash in the background, and to me this is atmosphere. Now this is a little triangular shape, so let's break that up. When I get to this point now, I wipe my brush. I don't want paint on it. I want to do a little cross hatching, and that means go one way and another way. And I tell my students to help prevent mud when you are cross hatching, don't do more than 2 strokes and wipe. So here's 1, 2, and wipe. 1, 2, and wipe. 1, 2, and wipe. And I guess I missed this little area here. Otherwise, you're going to create mud. So it's just a rule of thumb. 1, 2, and wipe. And then you're not wiping that paint all over the place. So just try to limit your number of strokes before you wipe your brush. And I'm just barely feathering. I want to look at these colors, and I'm going one way and then the other way. One way and the other way. Barely touching. This takes practice too. I think it's very smooth. I'd say I'm happy with that. Interesting background. Okay, so let's come forward now and finish the lilacs. I would maybe go into a smaller brush, a little bit of oil, and let's go into pansy purple here and pull, pull, pull. Maybe a tiny bit of the darker value, and let's set up behind that flower just a little bit more to push the main flower forward and this secondary one back. And I can also tap in a few darker areas. Little comma strokes here and there just to break that up. Now let's look at the prima donna. I may have to go back and clean a little bit of my color back to brighten her up a little from what was on the background. On the highlight side here. I messed that up a little, but we'll soften that up. Back to the smaller brush again. No, I went into blue violet when I painted these originally. So I'm going to go into some blue violet right now on the main lilac. Push that in a few of those darker areas. Give it a little more depth. Especially in the shadow areas on the shadow side. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a line there, so I might want to break that up a little bit. A little bit of a wash there. Now I'll go back to this smaller square shader and my odorless turpentine. Clean, 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 and then I might clean out a few of my main flowerets if they looked like they needed to be reshaped a little. Or brought back. I'm not going to play too much. This is a simple, easy little way to complete a piece. You wouldn't have to go through with all the carving background, middle ground if you didn't want to. Just completing a piece like this is fine too. Okay, I probably wouldn't do too much more in here. I do want to break that line up a little again. And here. All right, let's look at our leaves and our stems here. This is still fairly clean. I can bring back a little highlight. Maybe on one, pull that to the main. Same here, maybe I want to bring back one of these. By bringing back, I mean I'm bringing forward. The highlight will make that side of the leaf look like it is closer to you and catching the light. I wouldn't necessarily do them both. Now here, same thing. Let's leave some of that cool shadow on that shadow side of that leaf. Pull it towards the center. Now I'm going to clean that brush in odorless thinner again, and I want this leaf to be a little cleaner. Let's clean a little highlight on one side of this and leave a little bit of cool shadow on the other side. My paint bled just a little bit there, so soften that edge. And can I get a little bit of highlight out of this stem? Maybe. Soften that edge. Now, do I need a little darker under of green under that? I think so. Medium value green, dark side load. Looks a little flat. Let's give it a little darker value up under the lilac here. Now that looks a little flat, so I might take a little highlight out to make it appear a little more round. Give it a little shape. I may have messed up my couple little petals here, but and a little wash under here. Comma stroke. And I think this is ready to be cleaned up, this edge. I would take tissue or paper towel and just go around the scrolling. Clean off the high spots. Get rid of my sketch, my arrow there. And I believe this is ready for a fire. You could sign it and put it in the fire at 017. And you could call it a finished piece. Thank you for joining me in finishing up the lilac background and the washes. If you would like to watch more of my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell below so that you'll get reminders on upcoming videos. If you have questions or need supplies or information on seminars, please visit my website at vitascollectibles.com.